So hi, Krista. She's helping companies to step in the metaverse. And now she's gonna explain us what she's doing and what is her vision and how she does that. So hi, Krista, you can share the screen with the slides that you prepared and we can start.
Okay. Hello, everyone. And I'm Krista and I'm doing all things metaverse. But first, my background a little bit. I used to be a developer some 8 years ago, so I used to code a lot. Then I made a transition to more doing designer, meaning user experience, user interfaces, creating concepts and some strategy usually for startups. And my clients basically come from 4 different industries: VR, AR, meaning XR, metaverse, artificial intelligence, IoT, and blockchain. I have founded 2 companies. Unfortunately, Exterior Story ended last week, but I still run the other company called eventually XR. And as you might notice from the name, I hope that more and more companies are moving into metaverse eventually. So a little bit about my background. I started playing in virtual reality 4 years ago. This is old Vive headset, and I fell in love with VR. So I wanted to step into more at what it means to be in virtual reality and how we can create better interactions. And because I was a designer, I wanted to step into 3D space, seeing done too much of 2D, so moving into 3D was something new and very challenging and interesting. So here, this is 4 years ago. Still do exercise, fitness, XR gaming. But many people usually start asking me, okay, you work with metaverse, what do you actually mean? Because everyone has a different kind of concept of what metaverse means. And I usually say that it's just a new 3D layer of internet and where we usually are represented as avatars. And let's not go to Snowgrass. I think everyone has heard so many times the original story of Neil Stephenson, but I really like more about Sean Puri version of a metaverse, that it's not a space, but it's moment in time that our digital lives become more valuable than what our physical lives. So not yet there, but I think we are seeing that we spend more money on digital assets more and more, and our avatars is going to live in metaverse and they will become more valuable over time. We talk a lot about metaverse, but still everyone has their own idea what it means. And I want to think that my version may not be somebody else's who works in an industrial side of the XR industry. They have a different point of view. But let me show a video what we did last year. This is the company that doesn't exist anymore, but still, this was the music might be. Do you hear the music?
No, I don't hear music.
Oh, that's a pity.
Mm.
Sometimes you hear and sometimes you don't, because the music is a big part of the story. But we made a fashion show with the green screen and virtual elements and real people with the real fashion designer. And later on, this fashion Mert Otsama moved into metaverse. But here is just a taste that what we did before stepping into metaverse. And this the story, of course, here was that in the future, we organic people cannot no longer live outside these boxes, and robots has taken over the world. And then with the same fashion designer, we moved to Decentraland Metaverse. There was, as some of you listeners might remember, was a big Meta Fashion week in last March. And there were a lot of fashion brands in the main street, as well as this one. So this is outside the building. This is inside the building, where the designer made his collection as digital fashion items you could buy and wear in Decentraland. But what drives me, it's always that I'm very, very curious person. I want to learn a lot about newest technology, meaning sensor. I love hardware and I love software. And when those things come together, I think it's the most interesting time. So I play a lot of with different kind of hardware and software. This is just from a green screen studio. This in the middle one is a software called Polycam, and you can just take your phone and scan with the phone's LiDAR sensor. This was just 2 minutes. I scanned a globe with my phone, and then you get the 3D item of the globe. Very nice software. And this is, of course, jewels, virtual jewelry, which I like very, very much. I think they're very pretty.
Which is your favorite?
Favorite software or hardware or
yeah, the software between these three. Which is your favorite?
Well, I have to say Dress X app, where you can try on several virtual clothing, and I think they have worked with Snapchat lenses, so the body tracking is quite good in those virtual try-on, virtual fashion.
But I need to say that also the one that you show us first, that now doesn't exist anymore, was really good, like the quality of the graphic, right? And,
yes.
And it's how I like maybe a fashion show. So sorry. I mean, all like the place that they set it was like artistic in some way, so it was really good. But yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. But I feel like there is a space for human-driven fashion shows and avatar-driven fashion shows. So they are not eating. How do you say? There are different groups for both. So I think it's only good thing that we have virtual and we have real world people, and you can mix virtual with real, and or have 100% virtual fashion shows.
Yeah.
And then I really like the new artificial intelligence tools. Of course, I played a lot with Midjourney and Stable Diffusion, where you can create stories, visualize stories. And when I added something extra, I just copied my, taught my way of speaking to artificial intelligence. So after a while, it learned to speak my way. And this is just from a science fiction story. And well, I just say that this is not a drill, and it's not me speaking, it's artificial.
Abandon the spaceship.
It's AI.
This is not a drill.
So all my accent was there visible, which was like, oh, I speak like that, but it was fun.
Abandon.
And this is okay. This is a free version. I now have the paid version, but it's basically deepfake company where you can feed your pictures and then it makes a deepfake of yourself. This is not my voice.
To tell you that, in my opinion,
it has gotten better since
3D
these
layer
days.
Of the internet, a virtual world where we are represented as avatars. Metaverse is still under construction. It's not a place that already exists, but there are different concepts of what it can be. I hope it's more open than a closed ecosystem.
So this was just one example where we are stepping into the deepfake world more and more. And it's scary, but it's also fascinating. For example, some of you have read that the legendary voice of James Earl was copied as a digital twin, so the Darth Vader can continue to have his original voice in the future too. And as I said, I play with the hardware sometimes. So I played with the sensor called Beat Motion, and I made how do you say, sound control with the hand. So if you lower your hand, the sound goes down, and if you raise your hand, the sound goes up. So very basic machine learning. Here the dots are representing my hand. So I'm like that, playing around with technology. And then I love to write stories. And of course, when the artificial intelligence tools, just that DALL-E and Midjourney and Stable Diffusion came, I was like, oh my God, now I can visualize, because I'm not a good drawer. I do drawing, but I think I'm not that professional. So I put all my inner energy to visualize all my stories. And that helped me to build on the top of those visualizations, have more ideas, test more ideas. So I think this is a great tool. Of course, there'll be a lot of resistance for those people who make their money with art, with the hand and their mind. I get that it's not fair always that these machines have eaten inside all the people who have made their life with making art, and now people like me are using those machines, and they don't get royalties on their pieces. But there is always two sides, that somebody are benefiting and somebody are losing. But I hope that this new tool gives the old-fashioned artist also a lot of benefit. And I, who come from a more in extended reality world, I think our future is that we can actually prompt with the voice. I mean, saying that I want to step into the metaverse where it's beautiful lake, some moon rays are reflecting on that lake, and there is a beautiful forest around the lake, and I can just step into that world, and the machine learning builds that world. And we are pretty close. If I take a look on Scotty Fox Twitter account, he has made this kind of world already with artificial intelligence. I'm not at this level at all, so I have to show somebody else's work. But I'm really looking for the time that we can build places, imaginary, beautiful places, just with our worlds, and invite people to those fantasy worlds and have interactions there. Still, I think creative people, when they go places that doesn't exist, they that feeds the imagination even more. And when there are people, creative minds, getting into those fantasy places, I think there's going to be much more creativity, and new things are just going to appear. So Yeah, the question usually is it's the end of the year, and then people asking where are we actually going. On the left is Meta jacket made by Mert Atsamo, and of course it's fully virtual, so it's only exists in virtual world. And this is Shopify's. I think you have seen the raccoon example that you can design with artificial intelligence.
Perfect.
And I think actually that when we are going to have augmented reality glasses, it will take time, but actually you can bring your fashion items on the top of normal t-shirt, just like here, black t-shirt. And when you put your glasses, you can see different designs on augmented layer of people. So without glasses, they look like black t-shirt, but when you put the glasses, you start to have more fashion, and fast fashion is getting even faster, because with the snap of the fingers, you can change the design, what you're wearing as an augmented layer. And I think new business models will rise on a basis like that, that's what I will buy as an augmented layer on my shirt. But what happens in a metaverse side? I'm a fan of Emperia VR. They have done very cool metaverse environments. So I think that actually the websites are mostly 2D websites, but later on you can probably decide if you are going to step into old-fashioned 2D website or step into 3D website, which is one good example is the Bloomingdale's. And of course, the shopping experience is a little bit different. There is more possibilities for storytelling in 3D environment, and they are more close to games actually than normal e-commerce shopping place. Very, very interesting times. And I also see that there is a need to capture real world places. As I told you earlier, you can capture with your iPhone, but of course this is captured with more professional phone. But for example, the brick and mortar fashion shops have suffered during a pandemic, and some have captured their real world brick and mortar stores and bring those to metaverse, because people still kind of want to explore, have the same kind of experience than in a real world brick and mortar store. So this is one option that can happen in a website too. And of course, when I work as a metaverse advisor, I see 3D that it actually adds much value. For example, those websites that have a virtual try-on experience, you can virtual try on, for example, makeup, jewelry, shoes. So they have much better conversion rates, and of course, the return rates are also getting lower. And as we see in the Bloomingdale's, you can actually have more storytelling elements. You can bring elements that could not be in real world big brick and mortar store. You can build experience in the magic world, for example, if that fits with your brand. And Web3 I see as a possibility that especially luxury companies want to go there, because if you, for example, put a chip in a luxury bag, for example, product bag, you can guarantee that it's not faked item. You can always go back with the blockchain and explore who has owned it previously, and if the first one who minted the item in the blockchain is Prada, you can pretty sure you can be sure that it's original and authentic item. So I really think that this is going to be bigger thing in the luxury market. And I see more of this that actually also companies are doing phygital, so meaning that they can sell the same item as a digital and with the physical. For example, here is a pair of sunglasses, so you can buy a digital item, maybe wear with your avatar, and then in your shop, in your post, you go and pick the same item, but with the real world item you can of course wear in the real world. And I think that's very, very interesting as well. So this was my short presentation of what I do and what I think that the future will bring us.
Okay, thank you so much. I have one question. Do you think that in future there will be one and only metaverse, or will be like more metaverse splitted or more metaverse together? I don't know.
I don't think there's going to be one metaverse. If we have seen the big four tech companies, well, who's driving the industry, they have all the money. So I think there's going to be several metaverses. But as I told, I think the metaverse is going to be more like, let's put it that way. Why would the brand want to go into several places? That they have to go into this metaverse, this and this and this, copy the experience, but still different because the audience is different in each world. So probably I think that it's going to be that there's going to be 3D websites, so the brands will own their own experience instead that they go someplace else and copy. I don't know, is it going to be this way, but I see like in strategic way, it's better for the brands that they own the places themselves, not just buying the land and building the experience other worlds.
Like in your experience about helping companies to step in the metaverse, which are like the main challenges for them usually?
Well, it depends how mature the company is doing. If they are just haven't had any experiences with 3D or any experience with virtual world or any experience with the blockchain, it's like, let's go back and look at your business model and go to the basics. What are the steps? Like I usually make a strategy map that let's not go big in the beginning. Yeah. A more explorative way that what in the current process could be done, and it's bringing a value immediately than taking a big risk and building a metaverse of their own. It's a huge project and maybe not bringing any value. So depending how mature the companies are, the how do you say, the strategy is different.
I agree. So thank you so much. Yeah, as I was thinking, if you want to add something else, feel free to do it. Otherwise, we can finish like this.
Yeah, it's very, as I said, very interesting to work in this area because everything is changing every day. I have to read blockchain news every day. I have to do, well, I don't have to. I'm interested, of course, in the area, but like continuously update myself what is happening in this business to be able to offer the newest solution. So it's a continuous like learn.